How's it going? I am in Carlingford and today's video is how to load a fixed spool with braid without getting wind knots. That's what it is. A lot of people have trouble with it. I got the answer. So let's go. There are so many things that determine whether you get wind knots. Getting the line on the reel is one of them. And I'm going to talk about that in the video when we get to that bit. But first of all, we're going to get a bait in the water. You know what I mean? That's right. That's important. I'm going to be using this 30 gram slow jig. Yes, twin assists, UV flash, size 4.0 hooks. Okay, 30 pound fluoro mono blend, 20 pound main line, 5,000 size reel. We get a cast in the water. I don't know how many there are now. I think it's 6,605. That's a hell of a lot of people to have up on top of your head. You know what I mean? Anyway, get up my head. Haha, how do you like it up there? Great stuff. Anyway, so right, okay. This has never been cast before. This is not the way I fill spools. Normally I have a gizmo that I've invented for it, but I came up with this way because not everybody has the gizmos, right? So this is it. And the first cast with a new spool, freshly loaded, should always be a gentle one. Well, gentle enough anyway. No problem to it. So first cast in, no wind knots. Oh, I think it was weed actually. Anyway, it's nice here, don't bang me jig up. One of the other reasons for wind knots is your shims, or they're not correct, and the line is stacking up unevenly, you will get wind knots as well. So I'm going to punch it out a bit further and see how we go. There we go. Lovely job. So another reason for wind knots is winding slack line onto your reel. So if you get a load of slack line because of the wind or whatever, just put it through your fingers until you tighten up on it like this. Look, that's it. Till you tighten up on it. That's all. Now we're tight. We're just going to work this lure now. I don't want to miss a fish. It'd be great. I love catching fish when I'm doing a how to. It's brilliant. Would be a great spot for fishing if it wasn't for all the boats. Right. Well, anyway, the point I'm making is that I'm not getting wind knots. And when I do this demo later on, you're going to see why I don't get wind knots. So I'm going to fish on for a bit, just for my own edification. And we'll get on to this, I suppose you call it a how-to anyway. How to not get wind knots. That's what it is. Now I'm punching them. That's actually all the way past the back end now on that. Not like I'm taking it easy here. It's also important that when you're working the lure that the line doesn't go slack. So you have to get your timing right. If you watch the end of the rod, I keep the line tight to the rod tip before you wind down on it. It goes slack in between, but not when you're winding down on it. So you have to follow it with your eye. It really helps with the old wind knots. So if you look at the spool, if it was getting wind knots under there, there'd be bumps in the spool. That's it. Well over 100 meters. Right, I'm going to really go for it. I'm going to get the rod tip down. I'm going to hammer it. Watch out, birdie. Obviously can't fill this spool again. I'm not going to waste the fishing line. I have a spare spool for this. That's loaded with 30. So I'm going to do it with another special reel. Okay, I've proved my point. So basically I can fish like that for months and I don't get a problem. Obviously the line's not going to last that long because I always get stuck in a rock, but the way I put it on, it's the same. It's just done in another way. So I'm going to explain. So one of the reasons why you get wind knots, it starts at the manufacturers, right? When they're making the line and they're putting onto the spools, it goes through many different changes of angle and bobbins, and each time it changes direction, it creates a twist in the line. And to be honest, it's not all that much on a big scale, but when it comes down to a reel and the way that it turns, it aggravates the whole situation. As I was saying, it starts at the manufacturer's end. There's not much they can do about it, but there is stuff that we can do about it. Now, if you're ever used a multiplier, you will know something about them. They don't suffer from line twist, and you don't get wind knots with them, even with braid. And the reason for this is quite simple. When you load a multiplier, if you have any sense, you put it on a spindle and you load them face to face like this, okay? There's no change in angle, so it's not aggravating the problem with line twist. Okay, that is as simple as it is. And in my head, that was what I had to do to eliminate it with fixed spools. Now, I do have a gadget myself for loading my fixed spools, but I came up with this way just because a lot of people don't have what I have. I can't put it in a video because tackle developers will rip me off, and unfortunately that's just the realities of life. So this is it. I'm going to run through this now. So now you're asking yourself, but Billy, you can't load a fixed spool in that fashion. Yeah, you can. A lot of people will load it like this. Basically, that's what's causing your problem. What you want to do is turn it that way. It's as simple as that, right? That's it. So another thing that will help with this is if you mirror the spools so the line is coming off the same way as it went on. I'll show you what I mean. That turns that way, this spool is turned the same way, so then you just flip it over like that so it mirrors, and that will help the situation as well. It's not critical, but it will help. So yeah, I'm going to set it up and you can watch me do it. Be like you're doing it, my vicarious fish head friends. Okay, so this is the reel in question, the one I'm going to fill today. So I'm going to stick 20-pound line on it just for the demo. If it's done correctly, it will cause no problems whatsoever. You can see the bottom's already filled. That's 30 pound in there. This is what you need to remember. Take a bit of tape, right? Masking tape, sellotape, whatever type of tape you have, and you put it over the line groove there just to stop it getting caught up, right? That's it. So now you put this in something that will hold it. I'm going to use a vise, right? You can use whatever you can come across, somebody to hold it, whatever, right? I'm going to put it in the vise because I don't got anybody to hold it, right? And then I'm going to wind it onto the reel and fill the spool. And as I'm winding, I'm going to pinch the line in between my fingers, right? And as the line comes on, because it's coming off like this and it's slack, the twist gets pushed off the line before it gets onto the spool. It's as simple as that. That's the way I loaded this reel. 10, 12 casts, who knows? No wind knots, no problems. Anyway, so if you want to see this reel in action, I'll link the I Like Big Butts video in the description as well if you haven't seen it. It was my first halibut on a spinning rod, and it was a great day and a great video as well. So check it out if you feel the need. So let's get on with this. Up my head you go. And yeah, maybe you get stuff in your face again. Use that to clean your act up, man. So right, you take the line. This is the way I like to do it, okay? Finger and thumb through there. That's it. And these two hold the rods more or less. So then you point it at the rod. You put it underneath your armpit like this, right? As straight as possible, okay? Move back from it a little bit. And then just start winding. And you'll see what's happening. Okay? Now watch the line. It's going to start whipping around the end of the rod as the twist comes out. There you go. See it? That's it basically. And as you go, look, there you go. That's all the twist coming out of the line. I'm just going to go until it's full. It won't take a second. You can go as fast as you want as well, as long as it doesn't get caught in the spool up the top. Now I'm going to throw a leader on this. I'm going to fish a bit with it just to prove the point. It doesn't burn your fingers or anything. So just a couple of more turns and we'll be done. Okay, so now we're going to cut it. We're going to tie a leader on it. All this is done like real life circumstances, not inside, right? Nobody's holding the spool. I'm out here in nature, in the wind. Everything's having an effect. There's the spool there, right? You can see it's just a couple of mil under full, which is where you want it. And might I add, this reel detests 20 pounds. If I was just to put it on the way most people would, you wouldn't get 3 casts out of it, and it would be just the giant win out of your life, right? And that's basically it. So I'm going to throw a leader on this, and then we're going to fish a bit, okay? The leader knot is called the BF knot. It's in a video called Fishing Stuff. I will also link it in there. I have plans to refresh the video, make a new one. The first one was crap. I want to refresh that video. So if anybody thinks I'm trying to double up on them and get a free view or whatever, I don't. When I refresh a video, I delete the old ones, okay? So I lose those views in actual fact. Don't worry about it. I'm not trying to cheat anybody. I'm trying to help people. My channel is not monetized. I don't get anything from it apart from the thanks, encouragement, right, and enthusiasm from the fish heads. That's what I get from this channel, and sometimes the fish. You're right. So I'll throw a leader on it and we'll go and fish a bit. All right, yes. This is not an expensive reel. It cost me 12 quid, right? And as I said, it hates 20 pounds, so. But not like this. There you go. Right, that's the first cast. I will give a tip. Make sure when you've cast to loop that in there by hand to make sure you're not creating a loop on the front of the spool here. Just good sense. This is cast number 1. Got this place here, snaggy. We moved down the way a little bit because this is a test and I don't want it to be interrupted and I have to start the whole thing again. Put my gloves on, you never know, I might hook into a fish. It's coming to the end of 2 seasons, 2 years. That's it. Fantastic gloves, well worth the money. I don't know, just look for them, really. Now that first cast I actually hammered it, which is something that you really shouldn't do. Many casts later, but you can hear it sometimes when you got a wind knot. You hear it clack as they go through the eyes. You can definitely hear it in the GoPro. Okay, no clack, no wind knots. I'm not saying I won't get one, right? I'm saying you get less of them. There's so many factors. So this is going to be the last cast, and then I was going to give you a few tips on how to avoid wind knots. So that's pretty much it for me anyway. So just a few tips to help you along your way, so this becomes less of a problem. This is not a cure for wind knots. It's one of the factors why you get wind knots. There are so many, and right now I'm going to run through with them. Right, top of the list, line twist. Second, overfilling the spool. Third, not staying tight to the line when the lure hits the water. The factors go on and on and on. The reel itself, how expensive the reel is, how your casting style is as well. If you don't have a smooth casting style, that can also cause wind knots. How many strand the line is, the list goes on. The list goes on. I'll just give you a scope before I say goodbye. This is Carlingford. There's a big ship. That's it, beautiful, right? So I'm Billy trying to help out. Wherever you are in the world, remember, don't get wind knots. See you on the beach. Bye.